Hi, I'm Liz Cully, and welcome back to Cool, Cool, Cool. Each week, I give you a glimpse into what I think is cool and chat with a ton of people that are definitely cool. No topic is off bounds unless I guess it's not cool. Welcome to Cool, Cool, Cool. I'm excited to talk to you because I can't believe so many lesbians are writing lesbian books.
It's about time, right?
It is about
And
time. Wait, are you a lesbian? What if I miscategorize or I didn't misgender you, hopefully not yet, but
no, no, no.
miscategorize you.
I'm absolutely a lesbian.
Oh, thank God.
She, her pronouns, so you're good. You're very good.
Because you know what we don't need, Celia? We don't need more straight women writing lesbian books.
Don't get me started on that.
I'm gonna get you started. I can't stand it. I'm like, girl, we appreciate your fantasies and we get it. But like, no. Like, let some lesbians write some lesbian books, you know?
And could we let the lesbians be the best sellers? Like I'm so tired of the women married to men writing the sapphic books that are like get all the sales, all the praise, and meanwhile us actual lesbians are over here just like, please, please.
Well, it's a good, like, there is, I feel like becoming, and maybe it's because I'm so close to it, but there feels like there's becoming this like consortium of lesbian writers, at least here in Los Angeles, or queer female identifying writers that I love so much. And I feel like that's really exciting. And then Leisha and Kate over at Pants Pod are trying to promote more books with a book club. So I feel like at least we're promoting reading and writing. Maybe the country isn't, but
Yeah, I think that's the problem is that we need like some more people other than the Los Angeles lesbians to like get on board.
what was the first like lesbian book that really resonated with you or lesbian character in a book that resonated with you?
That's a really good question. I mean, I feel like one of the easiest answers is probably Patricia Highsmith, Price of Salt.
Yeah,
Uh, OG Carol. Uh,
too good.
and what's weird is like the first time I read that book, I wasn't really vibing and I like put it down. And it's so weird how that can happen. And then the second time I picked it up, I was like, what is wrong with me? Like this is perfection. Um, but yeah, I read that one like probably way after I should have. If I had read that book earlier, it might have helped me because
But
I didn't stop until I was 23, which I know people say doesn't sound super late, but for me, it felt very, very late, just
why
like
did it feel so late? Because other people around you were already out, or because you had wished that you had been,
it
queer
felt so
identifying
long.
earlier?
It felt so long because I was basically closeted to myself up until that point, and I was basically sleeping with men and vomiting after every single time and being
Oh,
like, just haven't found the right man, you know? Um,
yeah.
and you do that enough times, and it feels like a really long time when you finally realize. Uh, Hindsight is
Yeah.
20 and all
It's
that.
it's tricky because it does feel like a long time and I don't think people understand the societal pressure and the societal norm even on young women and girls to just
Mhm.
like a huge part of their identity and their worth is tied into being in a relationship and one that works. I mean, I always laugh. I'm like, that's so funny that I went through this cycle of, going after unobtainable men or men that didn't,
Always the
care about
unobtainium man.
me and
Yep.
trying to win them over. And please believe I suffered heartbreak. I cried and I lusted after them. But I don't know if in hindsight I was heartbroken because this particular guy didn't love me back or because I just could not achieve a long-standing heterosexual relationship like all the people around me. And everyone kept being so confused by me being such a failure in that department. You know what I mean?
Every time you go home for Christmas and your grandfather's like, still single? And you're like, yeah, grandpa, I guess I'm the biggest loser on earth, still single. Oh, I was just a lesbian.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and also you're like, but it's not for lack of trying, and it's not, yeah. And then, of course, then you come out, you find, you know, a person who feels comfortable and feels like the right fit, and then that heartbreak is devastating.
Yeah, well, I have a weird story. I basically just went through that. My first woman that I had ever been with, like my first love, my first everything was my wife. And then we split up like a year and a half ago. So
I'm sorry.
I basically experienced my first heartbreak, which was my separation, at like 40 years old. Don't recommend.
Well, that's a good segue because your newest book, Cover Story, which is your third.
Yes, yes, thank you. Everyone's always like, "Oh, your first book."
No, you're welcome. I read on the internet. Your third book is an incredible sapphic book. I didn't even read the book. I saw the write-up in the cover, literally the cover story, and I reached out to you and I'm like, oh, PR people covering, putting celebrities in the closet, must read, come on the show. But I wasn't expecting us to get hit over the head with an incredible loss and heartbreak,
Mm.
which, is the death of the love of the main character, which sort of feels like maybe you almost went through.
Well, the funny thing is that I wrote this book before that happened at all. When I wrote this book, we were like happily married, do. Like I was 1,000% sure we were going to be together forever. And they say to write about your greatest fear, and my greatest fear was losing her. And I truly thought that the only way that would ever happen is if she died. So that's like what I
I
wrote.
don't know if I can handle this conversation pregnant. I'm trying. I'm like, I'm
I
like,
mean,
what? Well, no, that
hindsight
is,
again, 2020, like looking back, I can see like there were some issues building, that I was like not super aware of.
sure.
Um, but yeah, I think I had some weird prescient like future vision going on when I wrote this book because yeah, I like split up from my wife and then all the issues that I basically like gave my main character Allie, the migraines, the driving phobia, the intense anxiety, those were all things that I was like super dealing with at the time that I wrote the book. And now all of those things are sort of rear view mirror. So it's
Well,
really weird.
good. I was very worried for Allie. The driving phobia in Los Angeles. I mean, granted, your book is set in the early aughts, which I love as a 40-year-old woman who,
Hell yeah.
works in Hollywood. The early
Yeah.
aughts will never, it'll only happen in our dreams and in our memories. Um, but driving in 2005 in Los Angeles was a hell of a lot different than driving today in Los Angeles, even. And I was like,
Like drive in LA in 2005 because I wasn't here yet.
girl, it was not like this. You could still get across the city in like 30 minutes.
Oh,
This is a
wow.
shit show.
And were people driving like the Wild Wild West yet
Yes, they
in
were.
2005?
I
Okay.
mean, that's like a California thing. Are you from California?
No, I'm from Maine.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that's right.
literal
I read that too. Where in Maine are you from?
Brunswick. It's a small town that's like 40 minutes from Portland, Maine, if you know where that is.
Yeah. Actually, I was just on a phone call before this with a dear, dear friend, and we were like, should we just move to Maine and get out of LA?
No, 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 don't do
Really?
it. There's like no diversity. It's like statistically one of the whitest states in the nation, and you can really like feel that when you're there.
Got
And it's
it.
also very hard to tell who the lesbians are and who are just like the LL Bean moms, you know? Like going
Okay.
back to grown up, I'm like, okay, I think there is actually more gay representation here than I was aware of growing up. But it's confusing. It's not the same. Uh,
Well, driving around Los Angeles will make you want to move to Maine. And so I identified with some of the fear, but for a main character to have all of these really difficult sort of life circumstance, the loss of, their first love as a partner, being in a industry at that time that wasn't exactly LGBTQ friendly, the
Mhm.
driving phobia, the anxiety, like and then wrestling with, you know, having to make, I would say moral is a strong word, but moral decisions about,
Totally.
visibility and not every day. You're like, damn girl, like you need a fucking break.
And like some people in the reviews were like, this was meant to be like a light, fun rom-com. Why are you like cloaking us in darkness?
And what's your answer to that?
My answer to that is like, I have a literary fiction background, and in literary fiction, the point is literally to like ruin your characters' lives.
Oh, there you go.
Um, and also, I just think I was trying to write like a realistic book. And in most of our lives, at some point, we are going to deal with mental health challenges, grief, trauma, anxiety, like all of these things are like they're real life.
Yeah.
I feel like the stuff that I love the most has this balance of like levity and darkness that sort of evens it all out. And so that's sort of what I'm always trying to do in my work is like balance the levity with the darkness so that you get like a reprieve from the darkness sometimes, but it's there because like it's there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that because I think in some ways, sometimes you read these books and it just feels so unrealistic and you can't identify at all with the characters. And so, to the
Yeah.
folks that are saying, "Oh my God, like this was supposed to be, fun." There are fun moments. I think there's also, for folks that don't work in the entertainment industry, you are transported into it and it's it's still a business. It's still an industry. And so you did take us into a part that's very realistic, which is what I really liked about it, is
So
I'm
as someone who works in the industry, it read as like quite realistic to you.
yeah, I mean for a fiction novel, yes. No, but yes, like there are
I was just guessing.
well, because I think what people don't realize is like, and actually that's not true. I think we're in a really interesting place in fandom as it relates to the entertainment industry and celebrity now because of social media. So, and that's why I also really appreciated when your book was set because for a lot of reasons. I love like the BlackBerry talk. Like it really brings me back to a place. But it's also really interesting because it was really pre Instagram, obviously now TikTok. And what's happened now is the average fan knows way more about the inner workings of the industry than they ever did before. Like people question PR releases, people question, intention behind an interview. They question what people are wearing on the red carpet and what that signifies, et cetera, et cetera. And so,
Yeah.
back then in the early aughts, when you're writing from it, the teams of people that really constructed these famous people's persona and lives, it was very true. It still exists in an extreme way, but it's much harder to not only facilitate because famous people are much different than they were back in the day. And obviously the industry is very different. We don't have, you know, like it would be really hard for me to say who is like Julia Roberts right now, who is Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington. I mean, maybe you could argue, I could probably come up with some people for that. But
Yeah.
then, those folks were really built by huge teams of people. And they were very well protected. And so I thought it was very realistic in the sense that like you did have a lot of people involved in the personal decisions of actors' lives,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. That
know?
control that they had back in the early aughts, that's like out the window now.
It was interesting how and I don't want to give too much away, so we're going to talk generally about the book, but
Oh,
because I don't want to like ruin it,
yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I got some in trouble for some. had an author on and they're like, you literally gave a summary of the book. I'm like, all right, well, whatever, get fucked. Like, what am I, you know what I mean? It's like, what do you want me to do?
I
But
mean, I'm like a pretty like down with spoilers person, but I know that maybe not all
like,
listeners.
we're gonna spoil it, but I'm not gonna be like line for line. But what I thought was, interesting was like, so we've got Allie, who's this PR girl. I also love her journey into PR, where she's like, I didn't even fucking want to do this. She's in this. Actually, I think the writers groups for me were in the beginning, very, very beginning of the book, were some of my favorite moments because I'm also in a writers group, and
You mean like workshopping fiction?
yeah,
Ah,
and I won't say too much because some of those people listen to this podcast, but there are
cool.
moments where I'm like, and it's typically men where I'm like, what the fuck are you saying?
Almost always. Yeah, a lot of that came from my time in my MFA program
I bet.
where I was just going to battle against cishet white men every single day about something. I had never like experienced it that intensely in my life before.
Because it's interesting. So why I loved it is because I love that this, Allie's like getting into this career, but she has this other dream. I very much identify that as, somebody who's kind of gone through
Interesting.
Indian.
What's your dream, Liz?
I want to move to Mexico and write books and like have a cafe and like have at least two donkeys. Well, maybe I'll have one donkey, two horses. I'd like a pig. I'd like a couple goats.
When you say books, what kind of books?
Well, right now I'm in the process. It's been a very long time. It's been like 10 years. Also, I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but it's been
Sorry, I get very
over,
curious.
it's okay, but it's been over 10 years. I wrote somewhat of a memoir, had an agent,
Mm.
really from more of like a TV film perspective, but it morphed into something that I didn't love. And it wasn't selling, which makes sense because it wasn't like me all the way. So I
Mm.
abandoned that and I let it go. And then I'm sort of retaking a lot of those things. I'm kind of in the discovery section, but it'll probably be more biographical first, autobiography, because I've had an
Oh,
interesting life. And
yeah.
then I have an idea for a fiction. But I almost feel like I got to get done with the first one for, you know how that is.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm in a very crazy writers group. Like these people are all public, like they're really, and I'm kind of the dipshit in the class, you know? But the guys. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you fucking talking? Like, what is this weird sex shit that you're talking about? So I loved Allie, your main character, because she's like slogging at this job she doesn't even know how she got into, which I very much identify with. And then she's got, her dream of being a writer on the side. So they're very like fun moments. But um, how did you land on this concept in general? Like, how did you dream up this world that you created?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was as simple as hearing someone say that you should write about your obsessions. And probably my number one obsession in life is closeted celebrities.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, are you obsessed with the ones you think are closeted, or are you obsessed with the concept of closeting celebrities? Or both?
Kind of both, probably more so. I mean, it all started like over a decade ago now, when one of my friends who he was dating the editor of like a big fashion magazine at the time, and they had recently gone to like this Hollywood after party. We were like having a potluck, and I was like mid bite of a quinoa salad, and he's like, "Oh, guys, I have like the funniest story. I saw,
So and
you know,
so.
so and so, a male actor kiss a man at this after party." And we were all like, what? Because this was, very well known A-list actor, Academy Awards, always publicly partnered with women. And we were like, what are you talking about? Kissed a man. And he was like, yeah, everyone at the party was like, oh, that's his longtime partner, so and so. And it's just, this is apparently very normal.
Yeah.
And that was the first time. I don't know why it like literally hadn't occurred to me before that like statistically it's not possible that the percentage of people in Hollywood who are straight, it's statistically not possible that they all are straight. And B, like, this is a thing that happens, that, the media is not necessarily always telling us the truth. So that was like my root. And that really changed my brain chemistry. And after that point, I was just sort of like, well, now I need to know everyone who's doing this. And, the internet is great. And then, like, once I moved to Los Angeles, it was just like, people just, people here, it's like they just toss out names like everybody here knows. That's
Yeah,
so,
everybody does sort of know. Yeah. Or like people will be like, oh, this person came out, and you're just like, dude, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I interviewed Anne Heche before she passed away for my show that I
mm,
used to have. And Anne, it was really, well, it was a wild interview. It's out there on the internet. Go find it, people listening, if you haven't listened to it already. But it was so interesting getting her perspective because we really dove into, that first red carpet that she attended with Ellen and like everything that went into that, and just like how her career was hurt so badly by that relationship with Ellen, how their relationship unfolded. And, you know, looking back on it, it's like even think about like Rosie O'Donnell and her obsession with Tom Cruise, which is so silly
yeah.
for a variety of obvious reasons. But,
Mhm.
it was so radical for these women in particular to be queer, and it did ruin people's careers, it did ruin people's lives, and that wasn't very long ago. And so I think Hollywood is an interesting place in the sense that we all know that. We all obviously are batshit to move here and get into the industry in the first place. But there is that protective layer of like everybody knows, but nobody cares. But we can't let outsiders know, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the plebeians in the middle of the country,
Well,
all these
I didn't say that. You said that, Celia, but yes, well, you just can't let the audience know, right?
people are
And
buying the gossip magazines that are talking about, this actor that you've got this raging crush on, who, it would completely spoil your fantasy if you knew that he was, fucking men.
yeah. Yeah, and it's, and there's so many different like things that are still going on. Like a ton of people are still in the closet, which is so interesting because
A-listers, young A-listers.
very much so.
People are like, oh, okay, so maybe some of the older people are still closeted, but the young ones, they're all coming out. I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's and it depends on which studio it's so layered, right? And like I also love, the studio was really involved in your main characters like
Yeah,
decisions of coming out and coming out, but the the celebrity that is really the focus, Kara, of your book, who
yeah.
becomes, you know, Allie's new love and focus and work life and all of that, she's really resistant to being in the closet. Why? I mean, obviously that makes for a story, so I understand why you would make that choice as a writer. But who did you base that person on, or who was some of your inspiration for Kara in the book?
Yeah, I would say there are probably two main influences, and personality wise, the biggest influence was probably King Princess. I read,
Wait, I'm dead. Really? On
yeah,
KP?
yeah, like I read a
Okay.
ton of interviews with them, and they're just so like outspoken, so baughty.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
you should listen to my interview with KP. They were on mushrooms,
typical. Oh my God,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, and I just sort of
I
wondered, like,
see it now. I see it now in the book.
like
Okay.
if KP had to try to have a career and be closeted, how would that work? Like
Yeah.
could could they ever censor themselves to that extent? And honestly, I was thinking about myself a lot too, because I just feel like, 99% of my personality is being a lesbian. And if I had to like write books about people that weren't gay, and if I had to like give interviews where I couldn't talk about that, what would I talk about? How would I come across as like a real person? Um, so yeah, I was thinking a lot about that. And then there are like some little case stew inspiration in Kara's character too.
But no Cara Delevingne.
I mean, the name for sure,
Yeah,
like
well, duh.
Cara Bissay, Cara Delevingne, and like some little things here and there, but I would say that she wasn't the main inspo.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't even think about King Princess, but that makes sense now. I love
Yeah.
that. And you're right. I think they would be really resistant to being closeted. Like it doesn't work, you
And it was
know?
like a young celebrity, like I was trying to get that sort of young mentality into the Cara character because I personally don't know a lot of 25-year-olds.
Yeah, so how did you do research for that? Like, did you just imagine it, or did you talk, or did you subject yourself to hanging out with 25-year-olds?
Well, I literally don't know any. I would like ask my friends who have like teenage kids. I was like, what's the slang? And I guess it's hard because this was set in 2005, so the slang wouldn't even like be the same. And the mindset wouldn't even be the same. Um, but yeah, I guess I just tried to use the old imagination.
Well, you drew from a lot of celebrities into Kara. There's also a touch of controversy around the book.
Yes, yes, a touch.
We have to talk about it
Let's go there.
because you reference this rumor about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about my number one obsession, like A, closeted celebrities, but like B, Taylor Swift, man. Like she lives rent free in my head, like constantly.
In what way? Just her as a person, this theory that she could potentially be queer, like what exactly?
I mean, it's all about her queerness. I wouldn't like be a fan of her if I didn't think she was queer? Like,
People really, I don't, I've actually, I'll be honest with you, I've never looked on a Goodreads page when I've interviewed an author ever. I've never done it. Some weird reason last week, or I was like, I'm curious, like, girl, you knew the Swifties were gonna lose their fucking minds. Like, you really played with danger. Like, what made you, yes, you're obsessed, lives rent free in your mind, but like, were you hesitant to speak about that at all? Like, talk me through this.
I don't think you say you knew like the straight Swifties were going to come for you, but I don't think I did know. I don't think I knew
Girl,
like
call me next time. I'll tell you.
I don't think I knew how like rabid they are about this stuff and how they like search it out, like um and you want to talk about like why wouldn't Taylor Swift just come out? It's because of these people, like I think that we can get very in our own bubble, and me on the internet is like everybody I follow on Twitter, Gaylor, like everything I'm interacting with, Gaylor, Gaylor, Gaylor. So I can become very like insulated. And yeah, it was like some person randomly noticed a few tiny, tiny, tiny like references to Taylor Swift's Gaylor lore in cover story. And they like tweeted about it. And I responded and was like, good catch, like, yes, correct. And then that sort of blew up. And the straight Swifties came for me in really a way that I didn't expect. They were like, kill yourself, we're gonna like come give you a lobotomy because you're like crazy. It got scary. I had to
Yeah.
like sign up for delete me. Like my publisher was like, you should probably just like delete that tweet. And I just really thought I'm not like the most well-known author on earth. I'm not like a bestseller. I really thought that I could sort of like fly under the radar with this stuff. And it just turns out that
No.
you cannot. So
Because you live in the bubble of the Gaylor world, but these people live in a Taylor 24/7 news cycle
Yeah.
world. And it's funny because I obviously don't know Taylor Swift. I've never met her. I know nothing of her personally. I am like one separation away. And I think she would be horrified that her fans did that to her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You
the
know what
thing.
I mean? Like, I think that's such a bummer and what fans don't realize, whether it's Taylor Swift or Beyonce or whoever they're obsessed with, is how much they're not like nobody wants them to behave that way. And it's really sad. Unless, you are a fan of Donald Trump and he absolutely wants people to be violent and disgusting. But for the
Yeah.
most part, most celebrities are pretty appalled by that behavior. And it's such
Taylor
a
Swift
bummer.
herself likes Gaylor content. She'll go literally like click like, you know, like, you know, which
But you
she
really think Taylor Swift is gay?
100%. Just my personal opinion.
Give me
But
like if we were on the stand right now and you had to like do it, give me the top reasons why.
okay, so top reason is her lyrics. I feel like if you have reading comprehension skills and you read all of her lyrics, it's very obvious that she's not talking about men in a lot of those songs, you
Okay.
know? So that's reason number one. Reason number two, in the documentary Miss Americana, she's filming the Me music video and she's talking about, yeah, we're going to put in all the things that make me me, like, cats and cowboy boots and gay pride, all the things that make me me. And she includes gay pride in that list. That's a direct quote, a literal direct quote. Like I could send you a clip.
Okay. Next.
Um, Next, I mean, there's literally a
You could
video.
just love pride parades and glitter and color.
Uh-huh. She could just be obsessed with rainbows just because she thinks they're pretty. The amount
I
of
mean,
views,
I'm gay and I'm like, on the rainbows.
same. But I feel like when you are closeted and you are,
But
trying to
like if
set,
somebody, okay, I'm playing devil's advocate. If
go
someone
ahead.
asked me, Liz Cully, make a music video and put all the things that make you you in it, it would be like ice cream, carbohydrates, cooking, wine,
Uh-huh.
Pilates, gangster rap music from the 90s,
Uh-huh.
dance music from the early 90s, all black artists, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah. I've noticed on your Instagram.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Love
I don't know, like what makes me, maybe some jewelry, some vintage clothes,
it. Mm.
gardening. You would think I was like a fucking Brentwood mom.
So your self-concept is not like super wrapped up in your gayness.
Not at all. I
Interesting.
just could not imagine being a straight person.
Yeah.
But all that stuff, tally it up, boop, 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 not very gay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go to gay pride parades. I
Yeah.
don't go to Dyke Day. I don't go to any of that shit. I've been, not for me.
Yeah.
Off brand. I
Yeah.
support it. I'm out here raising, hopefully, as much money as humanly possible for queer candidates.
Yeah.
But that's my expression of queerness is not like cats and no, but that's like very lesbian, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not like, you know, cats and fucking rainbows and tea and irreverent quotes on mugs or, I don't know. I'm like trying to pull out like weird lesbian stuff. But do you know
But
what I mean?
think about this though.
Yeah.
If you were a huge celebrity and you were closeted and you like wanted people to sort of down low know that, wouldn't you maybe try to find ways to like bring your queerness out a little bit more in certain respects, you
I mean,
know?
listen, she has signaled to me that she's not completely straight because no straight woman with a body like that would dress the way that she does. It is a actual crime against humanity. It's a crime against fashion. We
There
don't
we
need
go.
her to be down to earth. She's a billionaire. We know that she's a billionaire. I would like her to dress appropriately on the red carpet. I don't need Taylor Swift to be obtainable. She's even not. She's still wearing Vivienne Westwood. It just doesn't look right. Like it kills me, Celia. I
Yeah.
can't even handle it. Like if
Listen,
you gave me 15 minutes with Taylor Swift, I'd be like, one, the boyfriend's weird.
yeah, it never seems quite right, does it?
No, and actually now that you say it, if we think about who was the old dude that she dated when she was too young?
Oh, John Mayer?
Yeah, but there was another one too.
Hmm.
But like John Mayer is such an easy, like I fucked guys like John Mayer because they're like sloppy, they're like fun to hang around. They actually like women. They're like respectful enough. You get fucked up. They're older than you. They don't care that you're younger, but they're like into it still. And they make you do weird shit. And then you're like kind of scarred. But
Yeah.
for some reason, you like let it happen. I have a treasure trove of men like that I fucked around
You're
with.
young and you don't like fully know your sexuality yet. Yeah, you're sleeping with a lot of guys like that, you know?
All right,
Um,
I'm half on the I'm sure that it's possible. It would be devastating though for
I have
me.
a full list, like a 20-item list that I can send you.
I'd like to see it. I also
Yeah.
want to know who the gay guy was that was making out at the party.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's funny. I had a birthday party here and I had actually what I call my young lesbian friends that are all like 30.
Mm.
And they're all like super into polyamory and like sex parties. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think about the sex parties that were going on in the early 2000s versus the ones now. And I was like, damn, you guys, I'm sorry for you. Because when I was in my early 20s, it was like full celebrities all the time. Now they're like, it's mediocre, like smelly people with bad tattoos. And I'm like, that sucks for you because that was not what it was like. And so I do think social
So in
media,
your
there
day,
has,
the celebrities were attending these sex parties.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And I think that still exists, but I think it's pretty insular and small. And I can't imagine for queer folks now what it's like because the fear of the phone, I think, is so big, you
Absolute
know?
fear of the phone. And that's like why I set the book in 2005, because that was like the tipping point for like more people have cell phones now than don't have cell phones. And you turn the general public into paparazzi with a camera phone.
Has any publicist reached out to you since you've written the book and been like, oh my God, this is so real? Or like any fun industry DMs? Obviously, we don't need to know who it is.
No. And I was trying to talk to so many publicists as research for this book. And I got one like, probably super mid publicist who, like maybe they've had a brush with like a C or D list celebrity, but like I was really trying to like talk to somebody who would know about like how realistic what I'm writing about is. And no one, I mean, probably not surprisingly, no one would talk to me. But no,
That's so interesting.
I have not heard from any publicists.
Well, I have a lesbian publicist I'm going to give my copy to.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, it takes so long to write a book. You wrote this book, it sounds like a couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Publishing is very slow.
Very slow. Are you working on something now?
Oh, yes, always. Right now, my agent and I are trying to sell a book about a lesbian who experiences an immaculate conception.
Oh my
Like,
God, no, wait, do you want to know what's so crazy? And you
what?
should talk to this chick.
Hmm.
I got hit up yesterday by this girl that I've known, like, she's a podcaster, like in radio, like I've met her, whatever. And she posted that she was doing egg freezing
Hmm.
and this, that, and the other. And I went through IVF and it's a fucking bitch and a half. And I was like, hey, babe, I'm sure you got a million people. I literally am carrying a child from IVF. If you ever need anything, let me know. Because what I learned in that experience, I mean, she's not queer, but what I learned and why I've done so many episodes is there's so much information that's lost, especially with queer women as it relates
Yep.
to IVF. And she wrote, No, but anytime you want to have a virgin who's going through egg and IVF, let me know. I'm like, yeah. The second you're ready to come on this podcast, I'm dying to. So, kind of immaculate conception if you think about it.
A little bit, yeah. So wait, she's straight and she's a virgin and she's trying to get pregnant through IVF.
Yes.
Wow.
Immaculate conception 2020 will probably be 2026 because all this shit takes too long vibes.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah,
So a
yeah.
lesbian that has immaculate conception, that's great. I mean, I'm a huge Madonna fan, so anything kind of Catholic coded, I'm into. Um, that's fun.
Can you get all the publishers to be like, yeah, that's a book we want to buy? Like,
Well, I guess I just don't understand. I mean, I don't understand how immaculate conception really works.
well, that's the thing is in the book, I never give an actual like scientific answer, you know? It's sort of a mystery in the book how it happens. And that's like my main character basically is on a quest to figure out how this literally happened to them for like the whole book. And by the end of the book, they've gotten to the point of accepting that they might never know, you know?
Because I had a friend of mine, I'm sure she won't care, so I'll say who it is. Leah McSweeney, who was a former Real Housewife of New York,
Mm,
who's we've been friends for too long. We were talking about how unnecessary men are in life. And this was like 10 years ago. And she's like, think about it. You could just get sperm. I mean, technically, you need the man to get the sperm, but just keep walking on this path with me.
yeah.
You get the sperm, you put it in a turkey baster, you like get a you can even give yourself an orgasm and get yourself pregnant.
Yep.
That's what I mean. There's a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I'm interested in how she got pregnant. I'll read the book.
Well, I mean, huge spoiler. I probably shouldn't be saying this on a public podcast, but you're never going to find out like literally how. But you're going to, go on this journey with this character. It ended up being like a way more spiritual book than I intended.
Hmm.
Book gave me a spiritual awakening that came fully out of left field for me. I was an atheist when I started writing the book. And now I like fully identify as spiritual.
What does
Um,
that mean, though, spiritual? Like you believe in energy? Like, tell me more about that.
I don't believe in God, as like an entity, but I fully believe in spirits that are like around.
Yeah.
Uh, I believe that we've all had a ton of lives
Yeah.
past and that we will continue to. I believe in like, yeah, energy and that there's just so much more to life that we cannot see. And before writing this book, I was fully in the realist
Yeah.
um, space of like, life is what you can see, and anyone who thinks otherwise is a dumbass,
Yeah.
you know? But one conversation with a psychic medium, and I'm like, hmm,
Okay, well, I'll blow your brain. I mean, I met with a psychic last year who fucking predicted pretty much
was this
everything she
the
said happened.
is this the link that you put on Instagram
Yeah.
yesterday? Okay.
It's terrifying. My wife doesn't listen to this podcast, which I found out. I mean, I knew, but now I know for sure. So, and I'm like, dude, you need to listen to I mean, I didn't publish. There was a lot of personal stuff that we talked about that I didn't publish.
Yeah.
Um, it's creepy. But I've met a lot. I mean, I'm from San Francisco. I've had weird shit happen to me.
Mm,
I have like a lot of witches in my life who I really credit actually to getting pregnant. The women who I called who are definitely like, you know, they're witches. They are
yeah.
wonderful. And I
Mm,
also think that, I went to Catholic school. It's like an interesting journey that people come to because I get it. Like there's, being in the now and the real, yes, but then there's also a lot of like historical think things that you can still tangibly see or interact with, not just like folklore or like the Bible or stories or whatever, whether that's like the pyramids or any Mayan root. You're like, no, no, like, no, no, no. There's something going on. Also, just listen to the telepathy tapes.
The telepathy tapes. What's
Oh,
that?
here I am to just blow your mind. It's a podcast series. It actually ended up topping the charts more than Joe Rogan last year, which I love. And it's a
Oh,
lesbian from Burbank producer who I know who went on this documentary journey interviewing folks with different levels of autism or Asperger's or even some nonverbal skills and like identifying all this telepathy. You're gonna die. You should listen to it.
I'm so excited.
And
Thanks.
text me, call me. You won't be able to like finish it quick. You'll be like, "Ugh, like this is so crazy." But it makes sense. I mean, even yesterday I was thinking about someone out of the blue and they called me. I've always been like that. So,
And see, I was not tapped into that
but you
at
weren't.
before this journey.
Are you tapped in now?
I'm constantly trying to be more tapped in, but I feel like it's like work for me to get there. It's not like my default natural state. Uh, and some people are just much more sort of like I want to say like born with it. Everyone says that we all have these capabilities within us,
You
actually.
have to listen to the telepathy tapes. And I want you, everyone listening to this, I know I've talked about this ad nauseum, but Celia needs to know, so we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
Call me, text me after you're finished, and you'll be like, oh shit. And I'm gonna be like, yeah. We are definitely all born with it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I don't know if it needs to be labeled as like mystical or mythical or like even otherworldly. I think it's truly like energy, which you can relate back to science as well, whether it's
Like
plants
quantum
or,
physics, like, yeah,
yeah, Quantum Leap, gayest show that's ever existed. There you go. Um, I could just talk to you about so many things all day long.
I know. Same.
Um, give us before we go, because we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, but I do think it's so important that we continue to speak about support financially and read queer, especially queer identifying, women identifying authors. Give us some names of some authors that you love.
Oh God, you know, this is the question that you know you're going to be asked.
No.
And and yet when someone asks me this during literally every single interview I've ever given, the names just like fly right out of my head.
Okay, but we could just do the people we know in common.
Well, I know one that I can tell you. Melissa Broder. I mean,
Okay.
speaking of Los Angeles sapphics, Milk Fed is like a Bible for me. Have you read that book?
Okay, you know what's so funny is I haven't read it, but in my writing class, we get like an excerpt from a book and then we kind of like it's a prompt to write. And our last one was Milk Fed, and I need to read it.
You need to listen. I'll do the telepathy tapes. You do Milk
Milk
Fed,
Fed.
and then we're both gonna be like, "Oh my God, holy fucking shit!" Back and forth to each other with these two
I
things.
mean, I love boobs, so I'm hoping that it has something to do with boobs.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically about this woman who has an eating disorder and she goes to this frozen yogurt place every day to get like her one treat. And the woman who's working there is like this fat, sort of like owning her body woman, and they develop a relationship, that
Say
starts.
less. My addict as a 40-year-old woman who lived in New York during the early aughts, like frozen yogurt is so one deeply ED coded.
Absolutely.
Like on a level that's
Pinkberry,
beyond.
but yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
this, I essentially sustained on like one slice of pizza, Diet Coke, free alcoholic beverages, and one Tasty Delight every day of my life for many years. So, yes.
The regimen of what this character is eating every day, I still remember every single thing
Oh
that this
God,
character eats in a day. For lunch, a Subway salad with no dressing.
I can't. I can't even hear this. It because I mean, it's so awful, and I want young women and men to not be this way. But I think oh my God. I mean, it's also incredibly interesting being pregnant. And like I
Mm.
really just popped in the past like week. And even last night I was like, holy fuck. I've never looked this way and it's a total mind fuck. And I have to be like,
Mm.
no, Liz, it's not the year of 2004. You're gonna be okay. Also, thank God for GLP-1s. But like, do you know what I mean? It's
Well,
like,
let's do this.
ugh.
A lot of my friends who had eating disorders in the past and who are mothers now, they're like, actually, pregnancy and childbirth and raising a child was the best thing that ever could have happened for my eating disorder because I'm just like, I'm literally growing a human. I birthed it out of my body. Like, look how powerful I am.
I know. I've heard the same thing. Well, time will
Okay.
tell. Time will
Okay.
tell.
Okay. Fingers crossed for you.
Thanks. Okay, I'll read Milk Fed. You listen to the telepathy tapes. If it's too much pressure, we won't make you go through any more lesbian writers. So don't worry. That's a
Oh,
very
I mean,
good reco, by
I
the
can
way.
talk about some more. I mean, I feel like the one that like most people know, like the basically one lesbian bestseller that we do have, Kristen Arnett,
Yeah,
and like she totally deserves all of her success, totally deserves to be a lesbian bestseller. But yeah, her books are just, ooh, you're cringing the whole way through, but you're cringing so good. You're like, don't do that, don't do that. Oh, she did it. She did it, you know?
I
Uh,
know. Which sometimes we need a little bit of that. It's like how I felt when I watched the Queer Ultimatum against my will,
against your will, who forced you?
like Society.
Mm. I mean, listen, we have so little to watch that, when it's there, it's like you might as well.
Did you watch it?
I watched one episode, but honestly, that show, I know that it's so stupid, but I find it like actually emotionally painful to
Oh,
watch.
well then do not watch this season because you'll be
Because I
like,
watched the first season like sort of during my separation, and I was
oh,
just sobbing through every episode.
I'm so
Uh,
sorry.
so yeah, and it's also like addicting in a way that I know is unhealthy, where it's
Yeah.
like this is trash. Why do I want to watch another one immediately?
Immediately. Like couldn't fall asleep until I'm like, wait, no, I gotta see what mistakes up and there they go one more time. Yeah, it's pretty mental. I mean, listen, Temptation Island's still top tier marriage dating
Mhm.
reality show, but it's with straight people, so
As most of them are,
as most of them are, which is
it's
highly
you watch Love
disappointing.
Island. It's fascinating to me how
No, 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 we're not gonna do that. And I'll tell you why. There's like 50 episodes per season.
who has time for that?
I mean, technically me, but I have to watch all TV because every studio is my client.
Mm,
So I need
okay,
to at least understand TV. Like I
okay.
gotta be up on it. I gotta know. And I still don't watch everything,
Mm.
you
What do you
know?
right now that's like really good? I need something.
I like love the Gilded Age.
Oh no, I can't do it.
Sorry.
I
I like
can't.
can't help myself. And what else am I watching? I'm almost finished with Too Much, Lena Dunham. It was a hard burn in the beginning for me, and now I'm into it. I wasn't feeling it. I had to keep going.
I'm the
Uh,
same 2 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't really know.
I got
Uh,
to just episode 7 and I'm into it.
okay, good to know.
Okay. I just finished season 4 of The Bear. I preferred it to season 3.
Okay.
I and just like that is so bad. I can't understand how the studio did not give more notes. I mean,
Right.
so many people talk about how bad and just like that is. I totally get it. Like we are not by ourselves in this, but and so I don't need to give like I don't need to be out here another person giving an unsolicited opinion on just like that. But I just don't understand how it got this bad. Like I thought Che was the worst, and then now here we are, like with pain, like with cancer, and like
Oh, see,
it's
I don't
just
watch, so I don't know.
okay, it's
But
terrible.
yeah.
And then, but I still watch it every week. Real Housewives of Miami because ay por favor, gotta watch it. And what else am I watching? That's it.
Okay.
Like it's summer. It's not a good
Yeah.
time for TV.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
don't
not
think
much of like a reality TV hoe, so that limits my
I only
options.
said one. I only said one. Real
Queer
Housewives of
Ultimatum
Miami.
and Real Housewives.
But Queer Ultimatum was 2 days, and that was 3 weeks ago. We're over
O-
that. You
Okay.
can't judge me on that. I
Okay.
didn't really look pregnant 3 weeks ago. Like, we're not there anymore.
We exist.
We're not there anymore. And I refuse to watch Love Island. And I've never watched, there's like a lot that I haven't watched. But I
Okay.
think that's really and RuPaul's Drag Race is horrible. RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars is
I do
horrible.
watch that.
But I have to watch it. There's no not, like for me, it doesn't exist me not watching RuPaul's Drag Race. So that's
Yeah.
always going to be because I really just want to be a drag queen anyway. So
Don't we all?
yeah, I really do. But yeah, that's what I'm watching.
Okay.
Check me in the fall. I'll have more for you.
Okay.
You know,
I'll stick
um,
with
you'll stick with what?
I'll stick with too much.
You
I'll keep
should. It gets better. Meg
okay.
finds her footing. First
Okay.
episode, I have a real direct connect to that show, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I don't know about this." And they were like, "Please just keep going." And I was like, "Fine," and I did, and I'm happy now.
Okay.
It's a tough watch, but Meg, I think it gets better.
Good to know.
I loved Cover Story. Thank you for keeping lesbian stories alive.
Listen, I will keep doing it.
Good. We
I
need
think
it.
I'd be much more successful if I didn't, but I can't live that life.
No, because your whole personality is you being gay.
Yeah.
So, and now we're a mystic, so we're all there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, hold on, let me stop.